What's up, everybody? Dante, and I got to keep this video short because apparently I thought that I had recorded this and uploaded it a few days ago, but it apparently YouTube Capture won't upload anything longer than 10 minutes. So this is mostly for you guys on Patreon and whatnot, but everyone deserves to know what's been going on with me. The last week of March, I got a pizza from Little Caesars because I was like, whatever, pizza. And I had 2 slices of it, and I felt like it was a little too sweet. It was like a smokehouse pizza. It was like some new shit they have. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really eat a whole lot of sugar anymore, so which is why I've lost almost 100 pounds now. But they tasted kind of funky, and at first I was like, yeah, they just taste a little too sweet. Whatever. This isn't for me. I'm gonna throw it away. 4 hours later, I start feeling nauseous. 3 days later, I'm still nauseous and I'm puking. And I'm puking more frequently the longer time goes on. I'm puking more often, to the point where it came down to I was throwing up every hour. And I wasn't throwing up any water because I couldn't keep any water down or any food down. And once I was puking every hour, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to go to the hospital. So Rocco texted me and he's like, do you need a ride? And at the time I did, because I couldn't, even if I could drive, there was no way because I felt like sick the whole way there. I get there, I plop down in a wheelchair, and I'm just dead to the world. Like, I have no energy. I'm super dehydrated from all the puking and the fact that I couldn't keep any water down. They kept me in the hospital. They brought me into the ER. They checked me out. And then they said, we're going to move you to the hospital, the hospital proper. And I was like, okay, well, this has never happened before. So they they bring out another wheelchair. They wheel me into the neurology department because I was also hallucinating. And I've never done hard drugs. I'm not one of those people. But I was seeing, I'm not kidding, I was seeing things in my apartment that were like in the dark, like in the darkness areas that were not really there. Mostly they were like white wolves, which is kind of weird to say, but something up on this shelf, I had like one of my inhalers or something, looked like it came to life and like walked over to the edge of the shelf, and it freaked me the fuck out. So I had a panic attack, and that's when I called 911. This is still after, shortly after puking, and they said, okay, well, instead of calling an ambulance, we're going to send some police over who will pick you up and take you over because you don't live that far away. And I was like, cool. So I immediately went to the toilet and puked again. And then I went outside, explained my situation. They brought me over to the hospital. So anyway, they hospitalized me. At one point in time, I had 4 different IVs in me. One was a potassium infusion, or whatever it's called. I had a saline injection, a Zolfran injection, and an antibiotic, because they did a piss test on me, and they found out that I also had a bladder infection. But the major thing that I was sick with was this stomach virus. And when they kept me there for so long, I was like, well, why am I still here? And for the most part, when I was there, they were checking up on me every couple of hours, the nurses were. So when I did kind of fall asleep a little bit, I just get woken up again in a couple of hours. But for the most part, the entire time I was there, I barely slept. I just laid in the bed and watched TV. Oh, excuse me. For all 3 days I was in the hospital, I was hooked up to stuff like that was going into my bloodstream to rehydrate me. But hallucinating was really weird. I hallucinated in the ER room. I hallucinated in the room that they put me in. But then they had an IV in me, and they injected into the IV something to help with, I think it was basically just the dehydration. That's what they explained to me. They're like, the dehydration and your lack of sleep basically cause you to hallucinate, but we have something that we can give you for it. And it should start to work, pretty soon. So like within 10 minutes of them sticking that shit in me, I stopped seeing hallucinations. It was really fucking weird though, because again, I've never taken like shrooms or acid or anything like that, and it scared the fuck out of me. But I don't really ever get severely sick, and I thought this was just like a stomach ache and that it would pass, because this had happened once before earlier in March where I got sick and I was sick for like 2 days. So basically, long story short, the verdict was, once the doctor came in and told me like, okay, we're gonna let you go, here's what happened, here's everything that we did and what we found out was wrong with you. And it was something called, where is it? Is it here? I have the paperwork here. Viral gastroenteritis. And so, because I didn't go into the hospital like sooner, and I was laying in bed for 3 days, almost 4 days, just waiting for it to pass, the doctor basically said, like, you're very lucky that you came in when you did, because if you had gone another 24 hours, you probably would have been severely ill, even more severely ill from your dehydration. So I basically asked him, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how severe was I? And he's like, oh, you were an 8. You needed to be here in the hospital. They didn't prescribe me any drugs or anything. They just gave me a list of pills to buy. They're all over the counter. Most of them, it's a fluoric acid and a B1 vitamin. And I take these once a day. I take 3 of these every day. And then they said, take a melatonin so I can fall asleep. Now, I got out of the hospital on Monday. Today is Saturday. It's actually technically Sunday now. So it's Sunday morning now. When I got home on Monday, I was still feeling nauseous. They said, go home. They gave me Zolfran, the little pills. So I guess they technically did prescribe me like a drug. They said, here's the pill. If you feel nauseous, lay down and just keep water next to you and try to keep water down. And, when your appetite comes back, make sure you eat something. And so all of that, from Monday until Saturday afternoon, I didn't actually fall asleep at all for Monday until Saturday morning. I was awake the whole time. I was keeping water down. I have some Canada Dry, Every time I'd feel nauseous, I'd go lay down. Saturday morning, I'm feeling really, really fatigued. I just kept watching shows, after shows, just catching up on like The Daily Show and just catching up on like all kinds of shit that I hadn't been watching before that I normally do watch. And I was like, eventually I'll get mentally exhausted. I wasn't playing any games though, because my doctor said, go home and don't do anything stressful. I did log into Fallout 4 and sort of like calmly went around the world and like shot mutants and stuff like that, just to sort of mentally drain my energy. And then I started feeling tired, so I took 2 melatonin. Maybe an hour and a half later, I'm going to bed, but I'm only sleeping like a couple hours at a time. But it was sleep. It wasn't like not sleep like everything was for a while. And yeah, I woke up like at 3:00 Saturday afternoon and I felt great. My appetite's been back since then. So this was 12 hours ago. And so I made some sandwiches and stuff. If I eat too much, I still feel nauseous, but I think that's like a normal thing at this point, to where I'm thinking, well, I should eat more, but I haven't had the chance to get out to the grocery store, but I got my taxes back. So I got my insurance back and I got tabs in my car so I can drive, but I'm still not feeling 100% as of now. So I don't have a lot of fruits and vegetables and stuff, but as soon as I wake up again from another actual sleep session or a nap or something, I'm gonna get in the car and go to the grocery store. And thanks to you guys on Patreon, I'm gonna go over there and pick up some fruits and vegetables and juice and stuff like that I need. But the recovery has been really slow, mostly because when you don't fall asleep all day, you're not skipping those 8 hours that you would be asleep. So anyway, just wanted to update you guys. I gotta end this video soon because it won't upload unless I do. But for those of you on Twitter who are asking, because I did tweet out that I was in the hospital, so you guys who were sending your love, I really do appreciate it. Sorry it's taken so long to get this video to you guys, but I should be feeling right as rain and back on the job hunt again real soon. I've been getting word that a couple of places nearby are actually hiring delivery drivers, so fingers crossed on that. There's some other drama and stuff that I want to tell you guys about, but I can't talk about it now. I'll just say this: I might actually be going to court. No one's taking me to court. I might actually be taking somebody to court. But that's a story for another time. Thanks so much for all the support and all that stuff. And if you see me on Overwatch, jump in a game with me. I'm happy to play with whoever. But yeah, again, just thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll keep you updated as best I can. Oh, one of the other things, Nani is not here right now. She's with my mom because the doctor said you shouldn't be stressed. So my mom was like, I'll take her, to her place. And she's been sending me videos, letting me know, like, oh, she's having fun, she's having a blast, because my mom's got a big yard, she can run around it and stuff. But yeah, again, just thanks so much, guys. And you guys deserve this video, so don't forget about junk. Get crit.